What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Missed y'all. It's been a minute, but your boy is back. It is Monday, June the 3rd, and per usual, there is something to talk about when it comes to the Washington Commanders. Last week, having no OTAs was pretty depressing because it was a pretty quiet week. But knowing this team, like I've always known this team, something always rears its head as a talking point. Unfortunately, with the amazing offseason we're having, some old Washington type shit crept back into the stratosphere, where the kicker we just signed in free agency, Brandon McManus, was accused of sexual assault on a goddamn team flight to London as a Jacksonville Jaguar. Of all like I'm not ever excusing any claims of this magnitude, especially in 2024, where they're getting Bama's out of here for the slightest of things. A team flight, my guy. Freaky ass Brandon McManus was accused. Look at what the accusers accused him of. My red flag here was that these were the accusations. They didn't go any further or say anything crazier. Like, it feels like a lot to me to make up that this happened. The first one accused McManus. These are flight attendants on the plane carrying the Jaguars over to London. The first one accused them of trying to kiss her while she was seated during a session of turbulence, and twice grinded up against her while she was serving the flight's 2 meal services, per the lawsuit. She alleges during the first assault that she made eye contact with another Jaguars player, whom she said looked ashamed of McManus's behavior. I'm not sure how that can be proven, but so he tried to kiss her, grinded up on her twice. Can't be doing that, bro. That's freaky ass boy activity. Can't be doing that shit. Number 2 says he grinded up against her as well while she was serving the second meal service. So he apparently has a flight attendant kink. Per the lawsuit, she confronted McManus, who smirked and walked away. The lawsuit says she remained on the aircraft's second story to avoid McManus on the team's flight from London to Jacksonville on October 8th. So he was on all freaky time and didn't give a damn and showed no empathy about his actions on the flight. Definitely looked like he got a little freaky side to him. Not even gonna lie to you. And it feels like a lot to make up that these things happen, because you could have took it a lot further if you're going to concoct allegations about somebody. And who did these women sign for this civil lawsuit? Tony Busby, the guy that represented all the massage therapists that were alleging Deshaun Watson of being a freaky, nasty massage menace during his time in Houston before he had to be traded and had to miss a couple years in this league. I understand the people saying due process, guilty until proven innocent, yada, yada, yada. Not for this organization. If there is one NFL team who cannot afford having this type of shit on their jacket at this current juncture, it is the team that was formerly owned by Daniel Snyder, who used to have more sexual misconduct allegations than wins total. Not just per season, than like wins in the 25 years that he owned the team. We used to have quite the array. We used to collect sexual misconduct allegations like Thanos collected Infinity Stones. We're not the organization that can tolerate this shit. We're a team top to bottom, from ownership down to front office, down to staff, down to roster now, that can truly say they're doing things correctly. Can truly say there are good people in the organization, can truly say the morality of the program is no longer hindered by the snake that sits atop the organization. So if there's anybody in the NFL who can't sit around and wait for an investigation to finish, it is our Washington Commanders. Also doesn't help, he's just a kicker. I know people are going to be like, yo, Rio, you have something against special teams player. You're not really going to wait and let it play out with a kicker. I think it's replaceable as hell. But The options are limited, but you had to get rid of him. We released him. Totally understand it. He probably won't get a job in the NFL this year. He may be cooked after 10 seasons in the league. But then you look, our options are hella limited at how do we replace Brandon McManus. The first and simple solution is sign Randy Bullock. Randy Bullock's been in the league for 11 years. He's been team hopping like a Kardashian the last few years with Cincy, Tennessee, New York. Hasn't been able to keep a roster, but you have to have some type of veteran kicker on the roster, even if you go the young route. We all know who the hot commodity is. We all know who the guy everybody wants a piece of is, and it's Michigan Panthers UFL kicker Jack Bates. He's made like 360 yarders this year, including a 64 yarder. I think like one player in the NFL has ever made a kick that long in a game. He missed like 6 field goals this year and missed a game winner in their season finale, but he cannot negotiate with teams until the XFL or UFL season is over, whatever the hell that league is called. He cannot negotiate with teams until the middle of this month when the season comes to a close, and he's believed to have quite a few teams interested in his services. He spent training camp with the Houston Texans last year, didn't end up making a roster. He's killing it in the UFL. I feel like our only option is to sign mid-ass Randy Bullock and then sign Jack Bates and have them compete in a kicker competition once they touch down here in Ashburn over the summer through training camp, joint practices, preseason. That seems like the only option at this point. The Browns have a bit of a log jam at kicker right now with Dustin Hopkins, Cade York, and Lucas Havrisick. We can cop one of them young guys, let them compete as well, but there are not a bunch of attractive names open at the kicker position. And I wish Brandon McManus, like for those saying, here go Washington signing players with bad character again, they didn't know this shit when they signed him. I don't think nobody knew this shit. Not a soul. The only people that could have known is the nasty ass Jaguars. And they probably kept that shit sealed, signed, not delivered in Jacksonville. They kept that shit wrapped up in Duval County. No one ever needs to hear this type shit. Nobody knew this man was out here being R. Kelly on the team flights. He was out here thrusting at niggas like Hingle McKingleberry, trying to give them pumps on the airplane. Nobody knew that. So don't put this on Adam Peters. Don't put this on Josh Harris, Dan Quinn, or none of the above. And there's a world where he could turn out innocent. But the Washington Commanders, out of all 32 NFL teams, cannot be the team to sit around and say, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and find out. Nope. Brandon McManus had to fuck around and find out. Don't have your name attached to this type of thing in 2024. Different climate, different environment, and this is a different organization now. We don't play that. Point blank, period. He had to go. Hope it works out for you, my guy. And if it's wrong, if you did that shit, you're nasty. And there's probably a track record and a history of doing more if you think that this was cool on a team flight. It was crazy. We were talking about this in a group chat when it came out. We're thinking he probably did this in a nightclub. He probably did this in a club or something. Like the club, you can't excuse what happens in a club, but grinding up on somebody, you could kind of say, oh, I was trying to dance with him or something. On a plane? Flight attendants, people that are working on an airplane. What are we doing, bro? Like, what the fuck are we actually even doing here? But as far as options, Jack Bates, the UFL kid, he's going to have a line of suitors in the NFL. Washington better, you know what I'm saying, throw him a little bit of guaranteed money. And they better throw a veteran against him to compete because the lights could be a little bit brighter in the NFL rather than playing again in that little fake-ass football league, and we need to know if he can handle that. I know they said McManus was tearing the crossbar up in the offseason workout, like he was not looking too sharp while he was here, so maybe that was an omen that these charges came up because he was about to be in here on some dumb shit. It's crazy. For as much as this team has struggled to find a franchise quarterback, we've also struggled to keep a kicker here, to keep a reliable kicker here. Because Dustin Hopkins, while reliable-ish, he was so unclutch and lost us a bunch of games. Joey Sly can boot a 70-yarder but can't make a 35-yard field goal or an extra point. It was always something. I know y'all remember the Chris Blewett experiment, if you will. We always playing games with the kick. I think next year at some point in the draft, we got to draft us a kicker. Or if we get a young guy like Jack Bates or Cade York or Haverson, if we get a young guy, he need to just be our guy. We need to just live with what he brings because, God, how do you not ever button up the kicker position? But new team, new organization, new front office, give them the benefit of the doubt, but also understand that they understand the magnitude of having a player with these sort of allegations on his jacket under your umbrella. And this team, of all teams, cannot have that. This team is currently involved in political conversations regarding a new stadium. They can't have none of that right now. Oh, y'all out here backing a kicker for real that was accused of sexual allegations after all that this team just went through, but you trying to talk to us about a stadium in DC? Nah, like we can't. We had to clear the air. We had to get them up out of here. If you thought this wasn't going to happen, I don't know what world or reality you are currently living in, but in 2024, it was very obvious how this situation was going to play out. But that's all I got on the matter. Brandon McManus is gone. Is it going to be Jack Bates? Is it going to be Randy Bullock? Is it going to be one of the Browns kickers because they got 3 on the roster competing right now? We're going to see real soon. Your boy Rio will be back in the mix and posting content on the regular again. Enjoy the start of your week. Get it started on the right foot. I miss you guys. Your boy's back in the building. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.